Are you interested in studying in the UK and are you looking for a fully funded scholarship? When I mean fully funded scholarship, something that covers like your visa, it covers your free tuition, gives you departure and arrival allowance, it covers like your stipend and your accommodation, and even if you want to attend like some events, you also have money available for that. So you need to watch this video in order to find out about that. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Comfort Oladayo and Adegboro. On this channel we talk about everything, study opportunities and the scholarships that are available to support you in your graduate school application and how to apply for the scholarship. So today specifically we'll be talking about the Chevening Scholarship. So it's a scholarship that is fully funded and sponsored by the UK government, that is the British government, specifically the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, and it covers like everything. When I mean everything, you'll be finding out more details about this in the video. So it's basically for a 1-year master's program, and in this video I'll be talking about the eligibility criteria, the things you need, the documents, and how to put in a successful application. If this is what interests you, you definitely want to stick to this video and watch till the end. See you soon. Hello everyone and welcome back again. So like I said, we'll be talking about the Chevening Scholarship specifically for the 2025-2026 application. So first thing you want to do is to go to the chevening.org official website. And it's up. The Chevening website has so many information that would help you in this application, and one of the things you have to do is to take responsibility, do your own homework and do your research. There are so many information like just on this website, on different web pages that you can explore to help you with your application. So without wasting much time, it says here that the study in UK with the Chevening Scholarship applications are currently open, and instead of we going to the apply today, let's just scroll down to see what this is about. I've given you a brief on what the Chevening Scholarship is about, and it's a fully funded scholarship to the UK, which is a 1-year master's program. So in this video now we'll be going into details of what the scholarship is about, especially the eligibility, what things you need to put in place. So first of all, you want to select your specific country. This is important so that in case there are information that are tailored to your country, you would have access to this specifically. Some of them are actually repeated for most of the countries, but it does no harm to search for your own country of citizenship. So in this case, I'll be looking for Nigeria here and select the award type. You want to select scholarship, and if it's fellowship, you can also explore that option. Then you click on search. So now it shows us Chevening in Nigeria, and studying in the UK on a fully funded Chevening Scholarship. Applications are open. It was open from like August 6th. And it's going to be open until the 5th of November 2024. That's approximately, I would say 3 months. Yeah, 3 months approximately. So you have to take note of the timeline. We'll also be going through the application timeline in this video, but let's just take it one step at a time. So it says the Chevening is the UK government international scholarships program. It's funded by the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, blah, blah, blah. You can go through that in your own spare time. But now, what are the required documents that you will need? It talks about the Chevening applicant must submit their education documents, references, and one unconditional UK university offer. Like I said, we'll be going through the Chevening application timeline very soon, so you can have an idea of some of these things. And now, what is included in this scholarship? That's one of the things you might want to know, like what does this scholarship in itself cover? It covers your full tuition fee, a monthly stipend that is, trust me, it's going to be sufficient for your stay. It covers your accommodation and all of that, and your feeding, and you would definitely have some amount left to save. It covers your travel costs to and from the UK, an arrival allowance, a home departure allowance, the cost of one visa application, a travel grant to attend Chevening events in the UK. So that's a very fully funded scholarship. And how do you apply? One of the things we'll be going through in this video is each of these steps in addition to the application timeline. Before we proceed, you will also take note of this notice. It says we have been made aware of agencies offering assistance on Chevening Scholarship applications for a fee. We can confirm that these agencies are not approved or endorsed by the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, the Association of Commonwealth Universities of the Chevening Secretariat. We advise potential applicants against the use of these services in the strongest possible terms. Use of paid for service for Chevening applications is not permitted. So that's very clear. And this is just like a summary of what this page is saying. Do your homework. Like I said, you have to do your research. This is a link to show you how to search for master's courses related to the field of interest. And also UK and Nigeria, you have to go back to your home country. We'll still talk about that later on. You have to go back to your home country, and they are very big on development impact. So you want to know what UK is doing in Nigeria and how your course of study relates to that and how you can also contribute. So you have to explore that page. So now let's go through each of these one after the other. So here is a link that shows you how to, choose a UK university course, and it's important to select the right master's course for you. So how do you select your course? It is up to you to research and to choose the courses that align with your career goals. So there are different websites that you can check. You can use the UCAS postgraduate website, and you can also use the Chevening course finder to ensure your choices qualify for a Chevening scholarship. And then you have to take note of certain courses that you can't probably just pick any course. The course has to be full-time. It has to start in autumn term, which is September/October. That is the winter. And it has to be a taught master's course, not a research focused program. And it needs to be a course that would allow you to get or obtain a master's degree, not bachelor's, not a PhD, and it has to be a year course, and it has to be based in the UK. It cannot be part-time or distance learning. It cannot be less than 9 months. It cannot be more than 12 months in duration. It cannot be a PhD or DPhil, and it cannot be taught with more than 1 month of study outside the UK. So you can use the course finder to search for the courses of interest. In addition, there are some frequently asked questions that you might want to check. So because you have to select 3 different courses or 3 different universities, and you have to apply to each of these schools to get admission. So why should you choose 3 courses? This will kind of give you a backup option, and if your first choice doesn't work out, then your application assessors can help you to, better understand your career goals. It's also good to check all of these frequently asked questions, and it gives you more information on certain things that you might want to know with regards to selecting a course. And these are also important things you need to know in terms of maybe like some restriction for people who want to do MBA. There's like a fee cap to MBA programs, and that requires you to cover any additional cost that is over £22,000. You might want to check and explore this page. Let's go back to the previous page and see the next thing about eligibility. That is, you want to know what the requirements are to confirm whether you are eligible to apply for this scholarship or not. It says you must meet the eligibility criteria set out on this page to apply for a Chevening scholarship. Ineligible applications will be rejected. So one of the things they would want to check is, even before passing on your application to the screening team, they would want to check whether you are eligible to apply or not. So everyone who is not eligible to apply will automatically be removed. And I remember when I applied for mine, I knew I wasn't eligible, but I went ahead to go submit my application. I think then one of the requirements which you'll be seeing is like you need 2,800 hours of work experience, which I obviously did not have then. So I knew I wasn't eligible. So just be sure that you're eligible before you go ahead to apply. So now, to be eligible for a Chevening scholarship, you must, first of all, be a citizen of a Chevening eligible country or territory. You have to click on this to find out whether you are eligible. Well, most of the African countries are eligible. Most of the Commonwealth countries are eligible, like Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, all of those countries. You can just click on this to have a full detail of the countries and to see if the country of birth or maybe your citizenship is also eligible. You have to commit to returning to your home country for at least 2 years after your scholarships end. So this is a very, very important information to take note of. You need to have at least 2 years of work experience. You're going to see how the work experience is being calculated. That is 2,800 work hours is approximately 2 years of full employment. Then you need to hold an undergraduate degree that qualifies you for a UK master's program, then apply to 3 different and eligible UK university courses. You must have received an unconditional offer from at least one of these courses by the reference and education deadline. So we would also check the timeline to see the things you need to take note of. So I would say you should simultaneously apply to the universities while you're submitting your Chevening application, but it's not compulsory to have maybe applied or gotten the offer, because there's a timeline for you to have gotten an unconditional offer. So we are going to be checking that. So now you're not eligible for a Chevening scholarship if you hold British or dual British citizenship, you hold refugee status in the country, not eligible for Chevening. Maybe you're an employee, former employee, or relative of an employee of the UK government, and maybe you have previously studied in the UK on a UK government funded scholarship. So, for example, I had the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, which is also a UK government funded scholarship. So, because of I've already been sponsored by the UK government for a master's in the UK, I cannot apply for the Chevening Scholarship. So, one thing you should also note here is relatives are defined as parents or step parents, siblings or step siblings, children or step children, spouse, civil partner, or married partner, where the couple have been in a relationship akin to marriage or civil partnership for at least 2 years. So now, this is a brief overview of the work experience requirement. There is also a link where we can check more details on that. Before applying for the Chevening Scholarship, you need at least 2 years of work experience. Like I said, that's 2,800 hours, and this can include full-time employment, part-time employment, voluntary work, paid or unpaid internships, and all of these experiences can be from like 15 different workplaces or work periods in order to like meet the requirement. And one of the things is you need to take note of is that experience gained during mandatory employment for your degree does not count. Let's say, for example, during your undergraduates, it's mandatory to maybe be enrolled in a certain employment. Such kind of employment cannot count because it's related to your degree. So these are like some questions you might want to check. What do you do about your current employment? Let's say you are currently working and, oh, do I leave my job to apply for a Chevening scholarship? Maybe you could be able to come to a consensus with your employer. So you might want to check this detail and forward it to your employer. And how do you calculate your work experience? You'll be required to input the number of weeks and hours that you've worked for the job, and you can add up to 15 entries of past work experiences, and automatically this will be calculated for you. So now let's go to the next part, which is references. One of the documents you'll be submitting is reference letters. You'll be needing at least 2 references that you need to put. So as part of your Chevening application, you need to submit 2 references to demonstrate your suitability for a Chevening scholarship and master's degree in the UK. So who can be your referee? Either somebody that is in the academics or somebody who knows you on a professional level. So, but not a friend or a relative. How many referees can you choose? 2 referees. And when do you submit the reference letter? There's an application timeline that you have to take note of, and you need to upload the reference letter when you have been selected for the next stage of application. And who do you send these letters to? Like, who do you address the letter to? Specifically, you have to address to the High Commission or the British Embassy in your country. And in cases whereby you don't have these organizations still in operation, you can address the Chevening officer, the name of your country or the territory. And in addition, instructions for your referee. So when you are trying to prepare your reference letter, that is when your referees are preparing your reference letter for you, one of the things that should be noted, some of the things that should be noted are your reference letter must be written in English. If not, the applicant must submit the original reference along with the notarized English translation. Then the reference letter must be addressed to the British Embassy or the High Commission in the applicant's country or territory. You need to include your contact details, the length of time that you have known the applicant, the capacity in which you know them, and when you last had regular contact. And the letter should provide a brief endorsement of the applicant covering their leadership, networking skills, personal and interpersonal qualities, and the ability to complete a demanding academic program in the UK. So you don't just want to select anybody to be your referee. You need to select somebody that can easily vouch for you, knows your ability, and will be able to write honestly. Lastly, on this page, we have like the work experience part. And we've talked briefly about the work experience. It talks about the kind of work experience that are deemed eligible. In this case, you have full-time employment, part-time employment, voluntary work or unpaid internships, can be considered. And work experience can be completed during or after graduating from your undergraduate studies. However, any mandatory employment, like I said before, that counted towards your undergraduate or postgraduate course would not be eligible. So you do not need to meet the work experience requirements in one period of employment. Applicants can submit up to 15 different employment periods, like I've said earlier. And how do you calculate your work experience? There is also a page here that shows you more details in case you have questions about, what to include, what type of work experience, does my work experience need to be related to the course of study, all of those answers are here. So now let's go back to the page and explore the application guidance and also the application timeline. So when we scroll down here, you see the application guidance. You may wish to review our guidance to help you with the next step, which is references and interviews. So now let's click on the application guidance. So now on this page where you have the application guidance, you see the eligibility criteria, one of the things we have discussed, and we don't have to go through this again. Then next is, you see the Chevening application criteria. It talks about 4 key criteria that you'll be asked about in your Chevening application, that is leadership and influence, networking, studying in the UK, and career planning. So these 4 categories, these 4 subsections, you would have to write essays on this. And it says read on to discover how you can effectively showcase your strengths and boost your chances of success. So now for you to write your essay, you have to consider the leadership and influence part. You have to use relevant and recent examples to highlight your recent professional experiences that showcase your leadership skills, connect the dots. In addition, the second part is networking and relationship building. One of the things that the UK government, those sponsoring the scholarship, are big on is how well you can network and meet people, and this is very important. So you have to show your networking skills and how well you are able to build professional relationships. So studying in the UK, to be chosen for the Chevening Scholarship, you must demonstrate why you choose your master's courses and how they align with your past experiences and future goals. And lastly, one of the essays that you'll be writing is the career plan. Chevening is looking for applicants who have a clear and achievable post-study career plan. So what are the clear goals you have, and how are you going to leverage your Chevening experience, the course you have chosen, and being in the UK, the network, and how are you going to leverage all of this to help you achieve your goals? So these are the things you have to take note in putting a successful application. Now, references, we've talked about references. You can still scroll through the page. In addition, common application errors that you might want to check. So you might want to check this page to, have a brief overview of the things you need to take note and to avoid. So you have to check the eligibility criteria, immigration details, your work history, like we've said, the program of study, if you look for a program and a course that is in line, 3 different courses to be precise, and the essay questions, you have to take note of word count. Like there are 4 different essays you'll be writing, like as you saw in the previous web page, there is a 500 word count limit for each of the 4 Chevening essay questions. You must not exceed this limit. Similarly, if your answers are much shorter than 500 words, assessors may feel that you have not provided enough detail for your questions, and you don't have to go ahead to repeat things unnecessarily in your essay question. You have to avoid ChatGPT very well, like just run away from it, because you have to submit your original work using AI software. ChatGPT and related software, are strictly prohibited, and you must not use someone else's work or present content generated by AI tools as your own. Doing so violates Chevening's guidelines on plagiarism. And in addition to this, you have to write in English. All of your application must be completed in English. If application is not completed in English, it will be deemed ineligible. So next up on the application guidance is you checking, are you ready to apply, and take our eligibility quiz to find out first. So you might want to check that. And another thing that is on this page is how to apply to the Chevening Scholarship. So this is like a step on how to register the account. You have to complete the registration form, pass the eligibility check, make note of your access code, complete each section of the application form, and then submit your application. So these are like steps that you want to take note of, that you would be seeing in, when you create an account. And there are also some frequently asked questions ranging from, can you submit a paper copy? What if I've lost my access code? Can I withdraw my application? So you can check all of these to get more information on that. And in addition, preparing for the Chevening interview, because that's one of the things that is very important. So I'm going to be opening this in a new tab because there are steps to this. I'm going to show you the application timeline, like I've said. So this part shows you how you can prepare for the Chevening interview. And so let's say you've got into the interview stage of your Chevening application, you need to know how you can book your interview, the interview location, what documents do you need to submit before the application, and what to expect during the interview and after you have been selected. So these are like interview tips that you might want to explore. Like you really need to explore this page. Like I said earlier, I said that Chevening has provided lots of information on their website that would guide you. Even if you decide not to watch any video, which is important, you can go ahead to watch videos on YouTube. I'm sure there's so many videos on YouTube, but when you just sit down to make your research and consume all of the information on this page, you would obviously be very prepared to put in a very good application. Now, like I said that we are going to go through the application timeline, and that's most likely will be the last thing we'll be doing in this video. So now clicking on the application timeline, this shows you like what step by step the things you need to take note of, and all of that. So now the application timeline, the process of selecting Chevening scholars take a minimum of 8 months from the application deadline to when applicants are conditionally selected for an award. So here's an overview of the application and selection process, so you always know what is going on. And this is very good because there are specific dates that you can take a note of. So we've gone through this part. The scholarship has been open since the 6th of August 2024, and we've gone through the application guidance, and then you can apply via your country's territories page, blah, blah, blah. So now next is exactly after 3 months, the scholarship is going to be closing. So applications will close at 11:59 GMT. That's November 5. And from November 6, then applications are sifted against the eligibility criteria. And that's why I made us, look through the eligibility criteria. So if you're not eligible, I would say don't just consider applying, don't just waste your time, except you just want to explore and have a feel of what the application is all about. So from like mid-November 2024 to like January 2025, after they've been able to sift out applications that do not meet the eligibility requirements, then those applications will be passed on to a reading committee where they would, independent reading committee would access all of the eligible applications, and their scores and rank passed back to the local British embassies and High Commission. So from mid-February 2025, applicants are shortlisted for interviews, and from like 19th of February 2025, you would be required to upload your reference and education documents. So you might want to check each of these links, even check here to help you prepare for interview, and you might want to also check here for more details on what is required of you to upload. So you have to submit your reference letter and also submit your education documents prior to the interview date. So the 19th of February is going to be the deadline for that. So from the 26th of February to 25th of April 2025 is when the interviews will be taking place. So I've shown you some of on this web page where you can access information on tips to help you for interview. So after the interview, which I believe is the final step, results will be held from like June 2025, and then you would know whether you have been selected or you have not been selected, and what is the outcome of your application. So 11th of July 2025 will be like the deadline to receive and submit at least one unconditional UK university offer. So that's why it's very important for you to apply to 3 universities and apply as soon as possible, so that you won't be, found wanting when you have passed all other stages. Then by September or October, depending on your course start date, is when you have to be in the US. So this is like a brief overview of the things you have to take note. And just like I've shown you on this page earlier, there's so many information that you would want to explore on the Chevening website. So just take out time to check what applies to you, search for the courses that relate, search for tips how to choose the right UK university, and every other tip that you can find on this website will be very useful in putting in your application. And if necessary, I'm going to maybe like create videos on how to prepare better for the interview and how to write like the Chevening essays, because these are all very important things to take note. And maybe also a video on how to fill the form, the application form for the Chevening Scholarship. And thank you so much for sticking to this video up until this time. If you have questions, please kindly drop them in the comment section. And if you're yet to subscribe Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the like button and also hit the notification bell so you can always get notified when I upload other videos that will be helpful in your grad school application. And don't forget to share this video to someone and tell somebody, and just be kind enough to share the video to other people because you don't know who you might be helping. So till we meet again next time, do stay comforted. Ciao.